Hey y'all, it's Will here at the Stony Point Center Farm where it's October. It's time for the Soil Report where you hear what's happening in the ground with Stony Point Center Farm and what's happening on the ground with food justice in our community.
Hey, it's Amira, here to tell you all what's happening in the ground on our farm here at Stony Point Center. It's autumn. It's a beautiful time of year, and we're doing planning for the future and sort of short-term planning as well. So our fields are emptying out from a lot of our plants that are done for the season, and we've gotten a lot of cover crop in. And so that's our sort of long-term planning, looking forward to next season, letting those fields lay to rest, and they're ready to go for next year. But we also are doing some sort of short-term planning and planting in our greenhouse and hoop houses. They are full of life right now. We have lettuce and kale, and we still have some carrots going in our greenhouse and hoop house, and those will be ready to harvest in a few months in our cooler times of year and our quieter times of year. But we'll still be able to eat and enjoy the harvest in our winter months to come.
So for our on-the-ground report this month, we wanted to give you all some updates on some of the farm worker organizations that we are working with. So we want to talk about the Coalition of Immokalee Workers first, because as many people know, there was a lot of damage in Florida after Hurricane Irma, and the CIW was doing a lot of work to offer relief. They were raising money and working specifically with farm worker communities in Southwest Florida. So I'm happy to report that at the Stony Point Center Gala, all the people who came helped raise over $1,000 to contribute to that fund and to their relief efforts, which is really cool. The other thing that's going on with the CIW is they have just launched the Harvest Without Violence campaign, and it's a campaign led by the women of CIW specifically to end violence and sexual assault against women in Wendy's supply chain. And so they're going to be in Columbus, Ohio in the month of October, so check their website if you're interested in participating in any of those events. And they're going to be in New York in November, so mark your calendars for November 20th, because they're going to have a march to Nelson Peltz's office in New York City, and we're going to be there, so we'll see you there for that. So the second farm worker organization we want to report about is Migrant Justice, a group of dairy workers in Vermont, who you all may remember we talked about back in May when Sahar and I went to their May Day action earlier this year. And I'm happy to report that Ben & Jerry's, which was the target of their campaign, has finally agreed and officially signed on to the Milk with Dignity program, which ensures higher wages for farm workers. It improves their working conditions, makes them safer. It improves their living conditions, which is really good. And so we're really happy that Ben & Jerry's is finally listening to farm workers and their call for human rights. And normally we would say, hey, let's go get some Cherry Garcia and celebrate. But we want to honor the call that many Palestinian justice organizations are putting out there, and because they're calling for boycott on Ben & Jerry's because they do business in illegal settlements in Palestine. And so hopefully what can come of all this is that this, victory for the farm workers and human rights can be used as leverage to call Ben & Jerry's to account for the other human rights abuses in their business. And so we're hoping at the intersection of this work, we can all learn together and continue for the call for justice. So that's your soil report for the month of October. I hope everyone enjoys some nice fall weather. Until we see you next month. Bye.